Hello and welcome, PocketWatch here, and it's finally about time for another episode of Theories about Umineko. So yeah, after a long time, after I think around 50 hours together of streams with you guys and discussions of Discord, I'm probably ready to give you some theories about what I think happened in each episode of Umineko, about other stuff like who's Beatrice, what happened on Kuvadorian, maybe something about Butler. I'm not sure if I have note actually about this. Maybe I have. Yeah, it's been a while. Took me a while as well to compound all the notes. And I hope you will like it. I'm kinda insecure about this. I know episode 5 gives apparently a lot of hints about what's happening in the Umineko, but I decided to go purely with episode 4. I had fun. I had a lot of fun on streams and on Discord, digging up stuff, researching the red truths, making some correlation between episodes. That was just amazing, right? So thank you guys for being with me, and yeah, I will tell you what I think, like what happened and about some stuff. Maybe I got something correct, maybe I'm entirely wrong. Either way, that was like very good time for me. I really like that. I hope you will like it as well. And yeah, let's just jump in. Quick note, just bear in mind that Umineko is my first mystery novel I ever read, and this is basically my first attempt of like trying to solve any mystery stuff. So I hope you will like it, and I didn't make too much of the mistakes and you won't cringe too much. I'm really afraid of this. I've spent so much time on it and together with you, and I know you had fun. At least the people who are on Discord had fun, and I hope you like it. So yeah, let's just jump in. Okay, so we are back in like my typical paint notes, I guess. So I think I will do this in segments. Like I will do each episode, and then we'll talk like about Quadorian and stuff. I would say I'm terrible at making like notes that make sense, by the way, so I hope you can bear with me. I tried my best, because the thing that we had from streams and Discord was just like all over the place. I probably forgot a lot of stuff that we were talking about, or it was like forgotten somewhere on Discord discussions. By the way, you can join my Discord, it's in the description, so if you want to have like live discussion on Furies and on what's going on, then yeah, you can certainly join in, and this is like we're going crazy there sometimes, so yeah. Anyway, this is about episode 1, so in general, what I think what happened in general, like end of each game is the same basically. So after end of the Rokkenjima, the like whole mansion collapses, and it could be either like accident because of the typhoon, water, wind erosion and stuff, and this is because Angie couldn't find, I'm looking if you can see this, okay, Angie couldn't find the manor, and Eva could not sell books from this manor because it didn't existed basically, right? It was like underwater. So other option is that someone plant actually bombs, like I'm going crazy with this, I know, in the tunnels, because we know there's a lot of tunnels, and it was destroyed at 0-0 because each game ends at 0-0, so maybe it's a timer and culprit basically want to get rid of like evidence maybe. So it's entirely possible that happened. Also, the bodies were found and they were like damaged and severed, so it's definitely not an accident. So someone actually went for like murder rampage on Rokkenjima, and for purpose like made bodies to be unidentified and then like collapsed the manor, I think. So that's what happened. Also the letter that was written by Beato because of handwriting, we know that. Yeah, sorry for that break. So Beato or whoever wrote this is also a victim, not a culprit, or at least was like victim later on. Maybe she was like the culprit at the beginning, then she was like betrayed maybe or something, because the letter that was in the battle, that was apparently from Maria, quote quote, it feels like it was regret. It wants you to discover what really happened, you know? So I feel like Beato is actually one of the victims, not like the culprit or whoever that wrote. Also, this is a thing that I thought like actually very late in our discussions, like who actually gave Beato the ring? Because each game starts with Kinzo giving a ring to Beato, but we know that Kinzo is dead, so I'm not sure. It could be like current Kinzo, because in like a lot of these theories that I will have today is going around the Kinzo being the very fluid thing, you know, because Kinzo title can be passed on, so current Kinzo could start the game and give it, or for example Genji could transfer the ring, because as we saw like in episode 2, it was Ronove who gave it to Beato actually, so it could be as well that thing. Yeah, these are like just side notes and like general ideas. So let's go for like beginning of the episode 1. Okay, so about character status, actually let's go for like before episode. Like before the game, before everything started, like we know that Kinzo never left the study in the previous family conference, so we know that Kinzo is dead in the time of game, right? But he also never left the study in the previous conference room, so we can assume that Kinzo be dead at least 1 year already. And they have dead body hidden for some reason. I don't know what the reason is, but they have something. And the relatives suspect that he might be dead already, and the strong smell, like, you know, the perfumes or like smell of the alcohol or something, so intense like magic ritual, maybe where to cover the rotten smell of the body, yeah, like we saw like for example Natsuhi entering the room and stuff, so maybe she's like applying this scent to cover up the rotten body and stuff, but we'll see. So first of all, like Kraus is alive, and I think that in episode 1 at least, Kraus inherited the Kinzo name in this game. So basically, if someone's talking to Kinzo, and who talks to Kinzo in the episode 1 is basically just Natsuhi, if I'm correct? Like Natsuhi and Kraus actually. But I think like it's just for the viewer perspective, you know, like a lot of things in the game might be just for the viewer perspective, so I have a feeling like if we have Natsuhi talking to Kinzo, it's actually Natsuhi talking to Kraus, you know? And she meets with like father, she like playing basically against, I'm going like all over the place, I'm sorry. On purpose misleading others. Yeah, Kraus is not revealing his identity in public, that's why they don't recognize him as a Kinzo, because we know in the Red Truth that no one can mistake Kinzo by sight, and everyone like have to acknowledge Kinzo, you know? But what if Kinzo is revealed, basically? They don't know that he have a ring or something, so basically everyone sees him as Kraus, and only Natsuhi sees him as Kinzo at this point, you know? And in public they just like Natsuhi just talking about father, so basically about the old Kinzo. They're just playing everyone in this. Natsuhi went to like to meet with father to reapply basically this perfume or scent to hide the body stench. And people who met Kinzo and know that he died. Yeah, these are people who basically in the episode 1 actually met and spoke with Kinzo, like I was thinking at the beginning. I went like a little bit too ahead. It was like Nanjo, Genji, Shannon, Kanon, Kraus, Natsuki, and they are suspicious. These are basically the main suspects. And in the first case, Lamba Truth guarantees the identifieds of all unidentified corpses. So if we have like in this first shed the fully smashed face, and we just assume who it is, So basically, if we assume, for example, like Rosa had her face smashed, we can safely say that this is indeed Rosa. So yep, she's dead. Also, yeah, I think like Nanjo helped to fake deaths. Basically, Nanjo is a person that's suspect in like every single game for me. This is like one guy that's like suspect in every single game for me. Or at least he's suspicious. Because he's attendant for Kinzo, and he's telling everyone that Kinzo is alive. He's telling everyone he's alive, he has some like months to live and stuff. So he definitely know that Kinzo is dead. Okay, so what do we have? We have like definitely dead are Kyrie, Rudolph, Rosa and Genji. Sorry, Golda. Because they have like these fully smashed faces and you cannot identify basically corpses, which makes Lambda Delta red true valid, and it says that they are indeed people who we think. So let's see, what do I have here also? It's possible this red truth works only for body 6A if this is the case. Wait, what the fuck, I did this? Okay, I will cut this. Oh yeah, 6-8 is second Twilight, so I can suspect that Goda is actually alive. I don't know why I did that, but it makes sense if we think maybe. Okay, I'm lost. Sorry. So I have here some notes about Golda for future events, and it seems like I didn't want to discuss it here and it will be later on. Yeah, I'm like semi-prepared for this because I'm bad at making notes. I like talking like live on this and stuff while I'm researching. Okay, so for pieces, Kinzo is alive missing, so on the board. And yeah, because Natsuhi went then and visited basically Kinzo one more time, second time, and she could free basically the people who are alive, so she could free Natsuhi and Kraus, so they can be like part of the scheme later on. Also, we never had like confirmation later on, like if they're missing or not from the shed, so yep. The second time. Second Twilight and like basically second case is kind of complicated because we have the whole recipe stuff that Eva was planning. So what do we have here? So in general, this is like character status, so Eva and Hideyoshi are certainly dead. I say they are like 100% dead. I don't think I will like try to discuss now on like this video every single correlation I thought about on streams and Discord, because it will take like way too much time and I don't remember everything. I would have to like open read truths, other episodes and stuff, so just believe me that we check that. Or at least probably check that. Kill by culprit in the room, lock the room, recipe stuff. So yeah, Eva was like onto Natsuhi. She was like suspecting her, so maybe that's why they were like chosen to basically be killed, because yeah, they're like figuring out stuff. And this is the side theory that he could be alive, so we can like add basically Goda. He's not necessary. Yeah, I remember now. He don't necessarily have to be alive. It's possible to make this theory work again together with Goda, but he's not like necessary. So basically, Kraus and Shan is alive at this point, and Natsuhi let them out. So let's see what happened. So Natsuhi speaks to Kinzo before the bodies are found. Right, so before the Eva and Hideyoshi. Eva secretly places the recipe right after Natsuhi was talking to Kinzo. After bodies are found, Natsuhi and Eva go back to the study and Kinzo is not there. So yeah, they went to like Eva and Hideyoshi found this, went to sorry, not the bodies. This is after. I'm sorry, not the body. This is after the shed. Yeah, she went to Kinzo room apparently. She put the recipe, and after the bodies are found, Natsuhi and Eva both go back to study, and Kinzo is not there, obviously because he's dead. We know, and he cannot show up for Eva basically because well he's dead, and Natsuhi can play around and say that she was talking to him. Recipe is in the same place. So yeah, that means study was effectively locked during this time and Kinzo couldn't have left. Natsuhi keeps insisting that she meet with Kinzo and isn't able to explain how he left afterwards. This is basically what happened in the game. And this is basically the timeline, like what happened. So first, before Eva put the recipe in the door, right? So Natsuhi met with father. She wanted this is the first thing before they found the bodies. So she wanted to meet with Kinzo, and they could basically throw the body out of the window, I guess, and Canon from the outside could take the body, because we know the body was later in the boiler room. After this, Eva put the recipe into the door. Then we have Natsuhi going to the shed, basically. Is that what I think? Yeah. She went to the shed, she let them out. Like Kraus and Shannon, if I'm correct. I should have this like better. I have this like noted here. Why I'm like doing this from like my memory when I have this like written down. Anyway, she have the key to the shed, there was no paper and no body. And this is basically the end of on this case, like who was with who. Let's go with this. So when Natsuhi went to meet Kinzo, she in fact threw a body out of the window. Kanon could help and take it to prepare for boiler room. That's what I was talking about, like about Kanon here. Second time Natsuhi went and opened the shed, letting Shannon and Kraus out. Okay, so this is the first time and this is the second time, that's why we have the paper here. Then came back, pretend Kinzo was not in the room, because, yep, nobody, Kinzo was not in the room. Eva Hideyoshi could easily be tricked to open the door. Yeah, this is about like how episode 2, I mean case 2 of the episode 1, the second Twilight happened. So even Hideyoshi could be easily tricked to open the door by Kano and Genji, right? Because they are obviously alive and they're servants. They could be like, we are sent by someone like Natsuhi, for example, or whatever, or they just brought food or something, you know? There could be like many stuff, and they just killed them. Culprit somehow closed the door outside from outside, and this is basically devil's proof. I don't know what device could be used for that, but I believe there must be something they could do. Like they use some device to attach. This is not attack, it should be attached. The chain to the door and then close it. Maybe they took the door out of frame, attached chain, and then put up door again. So there's some stuff they could do, but I don't know what they could do exactly. So I refuse to explain, but I think that's what happened. It makes sense, I guess. Eva Hideyoshi makes sense also as the target because they were onto Natsuhi. We suspect Natsuhi from the beginning, so yeah, if they suspect Natsuhi, I guess they're next target. Let's go for the 4th and 5th place. This is about Red Troops from the Delta. Okay. Actually, let's go with this first, I guess. So, first of all, Kanon being first in the boiler room in panic. So maybe it's possible that body was not ready yet, so that's why he panicked and Kumasawa can be innocent, she just followed him, basically. But not necessary, so Kumasawa can be innocent, but not like necessary, you know? That's why I have like can be innocent. Also, the thing about Canon being dead in the second thing is that no one really saw Canon being impaled, you know? The stake was next to Canon. And Nanjo was the only one, I mean, he was one of the people. Actually, at this point, okay, let's go with this. At this point, Nanjo was the only one who took him as severely wounded and helped basically fake his death, because he just established, yeah, he's dead, he couldn't make it, but we know that Nanjo is suspect, so they can work together. Also, Lambda in red guaranteed identity, so body in the incinerator is Kinzo, because he's unidentified basically, outside of like 6 fingers, I guess, but it's still like possible to be someone else, so if they assume it's Kinzo, then it's Kinzo. So this is the body that was like in the study room so far. And it was planted by Canon with the help of other servant probably. Kumasawa could be a helper, but not necessary, as I said before, could be innocent. Also Goda could help if he's actually alive, this is like side theory, like every single thing here works as well with Goda. He's just like not really relevant, like important for this, but it works with him as well, so we can just like throw him into like every single thing, I guess, but most likely he's dead. And based on the also why we think that why we think that Canon is alive actually and Nanjo helped to fake his death is based on the red truth on episode 4. Like, all the survivors is alibis, no kind of human dead person could have killed Canon. So if no one could kill Canon, that means he must be alive and he did not commit suicide. Also, Jessica saw Canon being treated by Nanjo, so it's possible that Jessica can be suspect a little bit at this point. I mean, if Kraus and Natsuki are suspect, so in this case we can assume that Jessica knows something as well at this point, because she also saw Canon. She was the only person outside of Nanjo who saw Canon being fatally injured basically. So it's possible. Let's go to this. Canon is in the boiler room, Nanjo helped faking his death, stake next to him, yes, we're talking about this. Kinzo in an incinerator unidentified, so we have Lambda Delta Red Truth. Lambda, yep, whose body? Why keep Kinzo body? This is the thing that I don't know, why they kept Kinzo body for like 1 year up to this point. This is very weird. And the fifth death is basically Canon, who died. I mean, like 5th case. Died, and he's actually alive. So, state of the bodies at this point is like X's are dead. These are alive actually. Like they are like assumed being dead, but they're like really alive. And Canon obviously didn't die. So let's go to the next one. And this is like the ending, basically. So let's see. Basically, yeah, like whole Kraus family is in this. That's what I get from this. So let's see what happened. First, then we'll go to like. Actually, let's go first here. Let me just like check this out. Mara did not kill them. I think this was in red, I'm not sure, I will check this in a second here. Killed with a gun other than her, smoke from Natsuki gun, yep, okay, makes sense, now I remember. So, after split, because we had the split between the people who were inside the Kinzo study and in the parlor, basically. So after split, Shannon, Cannon / Kraus, and possibly Goda if he's alive. Like I said, we can throw Goda anyway. Kills Nanjo, Kumasawa, and Genji. And Genji can be innocent, actually. So it's not like... He feels suspect from the beginning, like a little bit, not necessary, because he knows, because he's like the closest person to Kinzo, right? So he knows that Kinzo is dead. So that's why he's like kind of suspicious. And we said before that it's possible that he helped to kill, like, for example, Iva and Hideyoshi. But it's also possible that he was betrayed, for example. So Genji can be innocent, or maybe he died during the fight. Could be both. Anyway, he's dead. We can safely say that. Kumasawa can be innocent as well. Also, yeah, these theories, because this is Umineko, we have a lot of ifs. Also, keep that in mind, that Umineko is my first mystery that I've read and tried to like actually discover stuff, you know, so I never did that kind of work before. And theories. Okay, so Nanjo kills to cover culprit tracks person who know him her. Oh yeah, okay, this makes sense. So Nanjo, if he's like suspect from the beginning, he was basically killed by someone to cover their tracks. It's basically killing to cover. Servant possibly could betray and kill Kraus at some point. Shed is still not checked. And Natsuki got looted out by saying something about Kraus' death, yeah. So at this point, it's possible that Kraus is dead. So it's entirely possible Natsuki got lured out to fight basically the Beatrice. Natsuki got shot by someone else's gun but her. This is in the Red Truth. Do I have Red Truth here? No, I don't. Okay. But that was in the Red Truth, if I remember correctly. And also the cousins heard only one gunshot, so I would suspect that there's possibility of the gun with the silencer. So we have only one shot from like Natsuki gun and she was killed by something else. Like she shot and missed and was shot by culprit basically. Shannon and Cannon maybe got having culprits at the end of the episode 1. Yeah, so Shannon and Cannon are like basically the main suspects of being people who were like deep into the like culprit, with the culprit basically in the episode 1. Kraus and Natsuki just had some plan. And being culprits as well at the beginning, but got betrayed by servants. So yeah, basically this is what happened like in the end. Like we have like cousins, Natsuki being lured out, Shannon and Count basically killed Natsuki, and they also killed like these three. What is here? Please abandon a knife house of escaping after the storm passes. And side note, this is the thing that I mentioned on Discord actually several times on several occasions. It's happened multiple times on letters. Basically letters, a lot of letters are referencing to Kinzo as Kinzo-sama. And no one outside of servants calling him that. That's why I suspect that Shannon might be the Beato of the episode 1. Actually, if you think about this, yeah, basically I suspect Shannon is being Beato in like pretty much every episode, I think. Because also about Kinzo-sama, not only because of this, but also about this, yeah. Culprit is sure they also, yeah, this is please abandon hope of escaping after the storm passes. So culprit is sure that everyone will be killed before the storm ends, or they know that escape after the storm is impossible. So maybe culprits actually destroyed the mansion. Maybe they're like detonators at 0-0 in the tunnels, like I said before. So yeah, I think that's basically the end of the episode 1. Like, everything happened, 0-0 happens, everything got destroyed. I don't know the motive, really. I don't know the motive, to be honest. I couldn't find a motive, like strong motive for doing all of this. I mean, I have kind of suspects about the motive, but this is weird. And this is after in episode 2 or 3, I think, we have a hint about motive. Oops. So yeah, these are like my random thoughts about episode 1 and my theory about how the episode 1 happened basically. So in the end game we have these alive. I mean alive, they actually died, like, after all, after everything, but who's been alive up until like the explosion, I would say, and like collapse? That would be the cousins, basically, and Shannon and Canon. The rest of people are basically dead. Yeah, that's for the episode 1, so let's go to the episode 2, I guess. I'll have to cut this a lot, but yeah, I'm really insecure about this and I'm stressed out. So yeah, let's go to the next episode. Okay, there we are in the episode 2. Let's go. Episode 2 is, to be honest, episode 2 might be the weirdest one, that I feel like the least confidence, because it makes sense for me up until the end and up till the golden banquet. This is where everything is just like going totally wrecked. So maybe I will figure something out during the episode. This talk, we'll see. I don't know. It's very weird. So let's see what we have. First of all, what's the status? In the second game we have information that according to Genji he should be dead for several years. So not only, because we said like he's dead for at least 1 year in the episode 1, and Genji said to basically when he went with Beatrice in the episode 2 and they was walking next to the Kinzo door, he said that Kinzo didn't left his study for several years, so we can assume that Kinzo is dead for several years. That's what I know. Also, he knows who Beato is, because he was like talking with Beato and basically was assisting her to go to her room and played Kyria. So we have 2 Beatrices, I think, in this episode. It's probably the Shannon, who I think might be the VIP version, and Beato as Rosa can be the second one. I will tell you why later on. And Canon knows about Shannon being Beato, basically. Also, the circles are people who are basically suspects for this episode and the beginning. So Maria might be into this. Genji, Goda, Rosa, Nanjo, obviously, as always. So first Twilight. We have 6 confirmed dead. It's by the red truth. If it's something is confirmed, then it's like just 100%. At least from what info we have. It's in the red. And they were killed by someone else, so culprit was also inside the chapel at the time of murder. This is like very first case in the episode 2 is very interesting actually. Because culprit was inside the chapel at the time of murder, right? As for the episode 4. And the red truths say it can't be unlocked with different key. This is very key, this is very like crucial information, I think, because red truth is very specific in most of the cases, so it could be locked with something else. And door is not automatic, so maybe it can't be unlocked, but maybe they could use something else to lock it. you know, some kind of device. Maybe they could use a pin or something to actually turn this and to lock it up. Who knows? But it's possible to lock it, basically. And Rosa being in chapel and survived, that's why Rosa is suspect as well, because she's been there, she survived and never talked to kids or to anyone about this. This is just like making her like very suspicious. And it's possible that she's Beato, like first Beato. Oh, Beato first is confirmed. Wait, what? Rosa assassin, possibly Beato unconfirmed? Oh yeah, possibly confirmed. Yeah, okay, because she was in the chapel. And Shannon's Beato VIP. Rosa thought the Halloween deaths are as beautiful, so this is weird. And also we have here, this is the letter from the episode 2. As I said, as same as episode 1, only servants call him that. Kinzo-sama. Once again, some kind of servant wrote these letters. Let's go. So, Shannon left first we're at the conference room, and Shannon left before Rosa, and she went to open the chapel, basically, to prepare everything. Then Shannon gave the key to Maria. And the magic that we saw as the viewer was basically candy being swapped when Maria's eyes closed. So she was like closing eyes, there was like talking about the magic, and basically Beatrice swapped the candy for the one that's like full, and Rosa is the one who knows what kind of candy it is, so it's probably Rosa. Or actually could be a Shannon, because if they're like in this together, then she could just give her the candy. So before the twilight even happened, chapel was opened already. It was never specified that it was closed the whole time. This is very important. And Maria and Rosa met with Beato. Key was given to Maria. So Beato is Shannon, basically. She swapped the candy, give the key and stuff. And Kirya saw Beato with Genji. Why do I think like this Beato is Shannon? I think this is just the old... Yeah, I'm sorry guys. This is the old note before, like, I said like that was a mess to deal with. Basically, it's not Beato, because the one who swapped the key was basically the VIP. Oh no, right, VIP is Shannon. God damn it, I'm sorry. So Kirya saw Beato with Genji and didn't realize identity for these guys. This makes, like, I guess sense. Like, they just like walked by, just talk a little bit, and yeah, Shannon can be very easily disguised as the Beato, so... Also, now, how Twilight happened. Like, how the murder happened. Siblings ate drunk sleeping pills at the dinner, because we know from the episode 3 that Rosa have some and Goda prepared food, so both are sus. Like, either Rosa could by herself basically quote poison the food and just make them asleep, or Goda could be in this and prepare this together with sleeping pills. Then siblings got the info from VIP Beato to meet at the chapel. She could like give some bite basically by saying that she had info about inheritance, about the gold, or whatever the case, you know. And obviously siblings went for this bite and went to the chapel. Chapel is open since Shan opened it beforehand, so they just entered without problems. Sleeping pills kicks in when the siblings are inside, because it probably happened right after they ate the dinner in the mansion. And they could have the food at the table. Sweets might be branded later, makes sense. Adults would have a normal dimmer. So basically what happened, I think that VIP Beato was like luring them into the chapel to talk about stuff, and she basically prepared a feast. So they just sit down to talk. You know, obviously they would be suspicious and stuff, but nevertheless, they would like try to keep their cool, you know, and just sit down at the table. And then the sleeping pills kicked in. It's also possible that the sleeping pills were like implanted in the food that was in the chapel. That's also possible, you know. We cannot like discredit that. It could be later on. And siblings got killed while asleep. And Kurpi just left and closed the door with something else than the chapel key. And that's devil's proof, because I don't know what kind this could be. And Red saying that the only way to unlock the door is the key. So yeah. Also, this is the alternative. Like I said, lured first and Rook inside the chapel. That's what I was talking about. It's like how they were killed. This is whatever, really. Like, could be strangled in sleep, sliced in sleep, whatever. Flashcards. Yeah, this is after like meeting in the chapel. We have this like flashing scenes where we have like every single character, and we have Beato in chapel and another Beato in VIP. So it's possible that we have Rosa as Beato 1 and Shannon as Beato in the VIP room. That's why we have two Beatos basically in the first case. So I think that's how it went. So let's go to next. Second Twilight. Let's go. Jessica Khan Goda went to VIP room. Oh yeah, this is after... Yeah, okay. Goda left. Yeah, okay. Jessica and Khan were alone, right? Because Goda left them. Like Jessica had these asthma attacks and stuff. Khan could not bring himself to kill Jessica. We know, because even he don't admit this, he don't know what's happening, he don't want to kill really Jessica. Killing Jessica is actually part of the plan, probably. Because we have like her parents dead, and basically I think in most cases, I assume that if parents are like alive or dead, that means like the kid is also a suspect or not. I don't think like this is like in every episode, but it is in some cases. So, Gota came back and killed them both basically, took Cannon body away. Bona probably is hidden in the well or tunnel near the mansion, because we know there's the well outside the mansion. That's why they couldn't find Cannon's body, no one knows about this, basically. And the room is closed with the master key. Well, that's easy solution, because at this point they still have master keys. Goda left the Cannon key at the Jessica body. Alternatively, he gave this to Nanjo and he planted this during body find. Like, either works. Yeah, so that went easy. So yeah, Jessica went to room, Beatrice attacked, like quote Beatrice. Jessica and Cannon died, and yeah, Red said he was killed in the room, so he couldn't die anywhere else. Shannon killed both of them, got a help with Cannon's body. Yeah, this is kinda contradictory to what I said here, but yeah, I guess this is more true. So that's some old note, I guess. So I'm sorry about this. Close room with the master key. Cannon key given to Nanjo after, or was at the body at the time. Yeah, easier to believe, like, and to do. Just leave it at the body. Jessica key in the room, no Cannon body. Cannon key on Jessica body. Nanjo found it, asked by Butler. Okay, so basically Shannon and Goda went to kill. That's why we have also Beatrice that attacked, right? Because we need one of the Beatrices to attack. I know, like, by the sprite, it would be Rosa because Beato won, but I think, like, we can just assume Beato is just one of these two at this point. And since Rosa was with kids, then it should be Shannon as Beato at the end, like at that part. Actually, yeah, I think this is the old note actually. God damn it, what a mess. Because Canon died, and I don't think like Shannon would like to kill Canon. And Shannon, yeah, Shannon later is a problem. Yeah, Shannon didn't killed, actually it was probably Goda. Also, yeah, Kumasawa have very weak alibi here. Like, she was just sleeping. She said that she was sleeping, so sleeping alone, and this is very, like, weird. I mean, not weird, because she's like old lady. She was like probably tired and everything. But she can be in this as well. But yeah, Shannon definitely wouldn't like to kill Canon, so I think it was basically Goda who intervened and killed both of them. Maybe he tried to kill just Jessica and Canon protected her. Basically, he was in the fight with Goda. Goda killed Canon and then killed Jessica. Like, I think that was what happened here. So next, we have bodies 4 and 5, technically 7, 8, because that's when the bodies were found. This is about Canon reappearance. Yeah, there's like some red truths about this. Genji, Goda, Genji and Shannon kills Kumasawa and Nanjo. This is like the main thing that I think that happened. So it's impossible there might be internal struggle and traitors. Pretty much like in the episode 1, someone betrayed Kinzo. I mean, like Kraus. Possibly only Nanjo actually died because of the later events. I need second battle. Why? I mean, I guess I need. And master keys at this point are in Rosa pockets. Okay. So this is about kills. Yeah. Goda killed Canon and Jessica, and he dumped his body in the well, so no one can find this. Then these two killed Kumasawa and Nanjo and put them in the courtyard later on. They could hide this, they could hide them in the well as well, so they are not fine, because there was like probably, I mean, there was a lot of time, but it would be dangerous, I guess, to leave just the body outside, because they would be like start searching for them, and they would be like suspects then, because the bodies would be found next to basically where they were. So they hid the bodies, and Genji basically discovered them later on. So Canon in fact died last Twilight, right? We had that in red. We had that established by several reds actually. It was like a mix of reds, I think, because we did like established like few things, if I'm correct. Survivors made up a story of him coming back. Episode 4 Red, no other person in canon can be canon, and he is confirmed dead by Red in the episode 2. Yeah, so this is basically collaboration between episode 4 and episode 2. Unless Canon was killed, and this is something that I went crazy about, and that was very weird. Like, they talk actually in the future, and it says that Canon has been killed at the same point in the room. So basically what I say that the narration is happening in the future. Like, someone who's telling the story is telling from the future standpoint, and it's not like current state of the events, you know? This is just like, I guess, side note and crazy talk, but who knows? If that's the case, then yeah, he might be alive at this point if he was killed, like, was past tense. Shannon, Goda, Kenji killed Kumasawa, bodies are hidden. Alternatively, Kumasawa and Nanjo are alive. and hides themselves. Maybe the culprits escaped from other servants and died later. And this also makes sense to me, that Kumasawa and Nanjo could have escaped at first, because Genji was very angry and agitated later on. Maybe he knows that it's like they fucked up, and that's why he like threw the knife, you know, in the kitchen that was like hit the butterfly later on, because he was like angry at this and he was like for the hunt basically later on. It's possible. Either way, they end up dead, because Genji finds Nanjo and Kumasawa bodies. So next bodies are 68 in game, and technically 45, because it's about finding Shannon and George. Goda, Shannon, George broke to chapel for Natsuhiki, but to follow them, fight in the room, everyone dead, Genji was left in the kitchen. That's basically a simple premise of what happened in the game. Also, episode 2, I think episode 2 or episode 3 is episode where I will discredit a lot of things that we see on the screen basically. Because there are episodes where I want to say that didn't actually happen. Like, no one established things, no one like saw stuff, and they're just visible by the viewer. So I would say that some stuff didn't happen by viewer standpoint. Basically. So Genji threw a knife. We know that he has some serious skills, yep. And possibly he was angry, like I said before, that Nanjo and Kumasawa was being able to escape. Or he's just like not happy with outcome in general, like how this stuff is going out. So Genji hunted down, sliced them, bodies had sliced throats. Yeah, this is also why I think that Genji can be a culprit, because they had like sliced throats, and we know that Genji operates with knives at this point, I guess. And Genji shows the bodies, so we have two alternatives, I see. He took bodies out, because if they killed them and hit them, then he had the time now to just take them out and plant them, basically. Rosa and cousins were together, George, Shannon and Goda were together, so he was alone, he could basically plant the bodies. Or Kumasawa and Nanjo were alive, Genji executed them there, and yeah, when no one can see them, and then plant the bodies. What happened in the Natsuhi room? Basically, it was a struggle. Natsuhi room is very similar to what happened in the room with Jessica and Canon, basically. Like with Canon and Jessica, Canon couldn't kill Shannon. Canon couldn't kill Jessica, I think Shannon cannot kill George. So Goda tried to kill George, Shannon protected him and dies. Then George fighting Goda and they both die. That's why we can create the closed room, basically. Possibly there was no Beatrice following them. That's one of the things that I want to discredit, basically. We don't see smashed window later in the game. That's the point when I want to discredit this scene. Because no one confirmed that the window was smashed, that they entered through the window, that someone was actually following them. Like, this is... I mean, there is probably some explanation. I know that you probably know, maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong, but... it's possibly that never happened. They went to Natsuhi room for search for this mirror for some reason. I don't know why they would need the mirror that was smashed by Shannon before. Also this whole mirror stuff. I wanted to make some notes about this, but I think I forgot, so I don't think that I don't think I have notes on the shrine. We'll see later on. But I don't think I have. I do have about the Kuvadorian though. So yeah, basically that's how I think it went. Like basically they all died together in the room, and the room was closed when that happened. That's why we have the closed room. And yeah. And then we have Golden Banquet, which ruins everything. And this is the place where I want when I'm going to revive Goda. This is like the place where like we had on the Discord and on stream a lot of memes and stuff. Because we created basically a Gotinzo trees. I gave Goda Kinzo title. Don't ask me why. Like, this Golden Banquet, when everyone is meeting, they see Kinzo, they cannot... What is going on? Golden Banquet is terrible. Rosa, Butler, Maria find bodies, Natsuhiro. Envelope is planted by Rosa before leaving. Like when they went to the Natsuhiro room, she planted the... She was like leaving last and planted the envelope before. Or Goda, we need Goda to have fake death, basically. To plant the envelope after Rosa and Butler left the Natsuhi room, basically. Also, it's not like no one said that when Rosa, Butler, and Maria left the room, the parlor, Rosa closed the room behind them. That was never established, so it was open all the time, probably. Actually, this is like about the Golden Banquet. Let's go here for a second, because this is about the room. Goda lying on the ground face, they didn't check bodies in detail. So, possible that he faked his death and planted envelope in the room because Rosa didn't close it. It's not mentioned. That's why I want... Goda is like basically the only person, I think, that I can revive at this point. To be Kinzo later on. Not sure if Goda can sleep to plant, so it's most likely Rosa. And I will tie Golden Banquet to the collapse, like this way we can explain escape without having batteries present. So basically, the batteries I think is just for the viewer perspective, and Rosa knows what's happening, like this mansion is going to collapse. We're going to all die, so we must escape. So she went very fast for the gold and she's trying to escape. But there's typhoon, there's rain, wind, and she's like basically in panic mode and she trips. Basically, yeah, she's unable to escape in time. And then we have this collapse that happens, and that's why everyone dies. So at the end, like, also this is the other theory, like if we go without collapsing, because if we go with collapsing we can put Genji as the Kinzo title, you know, like here. Also, this is worth to note, since we are at this point, this is the first time when Butler is saying batteries. Also, this is the part when I revive apparently Kumasawa. Yeah. This is the first time where Butler's saying batteries, and in every single time when Butler's saying batteries, he's drunk or not saying her clearly, so he cannot establish who she is. There's entirely possibility that there's someone who he knows, and he's not aware of this. So he's drunk, and he's like, Beata, is that you? And he's looking at Kumasawa in disguise. So that's weird, I know, if you think what's happening in the Golden Banquet, but let's say it never happened. And Goda as a Kinzo, and about escaping Rosa and Maria, it's possible that Beato role is just for like viewer perspective, and it's actually Genji who's following them and trying to finish the job, basically killing the Rosa and Maria. This is one of the possibilities. Another possibility is that Goda is actually dead, Genji is Kinzo, and they're trying to escape, and there we have the collapse. So yeah, Golden Banquet is the thing that is like destroying everything that's above. Like, for some reason I need to revive someone. But yeah, that's the episode where I'm like least confident about the ending. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so here we are on episode 3. And episode 3 means that we'll have Kuwadoran stuff, which I didn't like make notes, basically tied up as they are like in every episode. Like, believe me or not, but these are the notes that are compiled and in the form that make logical sense when I like read them, and they're not scattered around. They are here on purpose. Like the notes I had before creating this, same for the episode 1 and 2, were in total mess, just like Kuwadoran stuff you will see. But yeah, let's go. So, the first thing is with the closed rooms. And let's see, so, we are going to assume that Kraus is Kinzo once again in this episode. And they knows about Kinzo's death, both of them. We assume that Rosa is Beato in the episode 3, and she's the one that helped Maria find her rose. So, Kinzo's dead this game and only 5 sacrifices, so it's possible that Kinzo counts towards 6 sacrifices for the first Twilight. So, the beginning is that servants killed the Kinzo in room by Beato, and they all basically could die somewhere else, because in game they died in the Kinzo room, but in essence, like in fact, no one saw that. So they could die anywhere in the mansion, basically at any time, at different times, just like no one saw this. And yeah, body in the boiler room once again. They found symbols and closed rooms, so can't be culprits I guess, and they've been together all the time, so none of this can be a culprit, I think. Like, culprit who actually killed in the episode 3. I can assume that she might be the Beato, but you know how I said in the episode 1 when I was talking about the notes that Beato might be a victim as well. So I don't think for episode 3 Rosa could be a culprit. It's still question mark at this point. But yeah, also it's like kind of assuming that Kumasawa can be Virgila, because we saw her transformation and stuff. So maybe Kumasawa is the old teacher for Beato. For like the Beato from Kuwadorian. Maybe her real identity is Virgila. So yeah, let's see how it happened. First of all, let's go with this, because this is like before this actually. So, first of all, why they trying to avoid Goda? Because they got info from Kinzo, the master, who told them to go. He summoned them, and they just tried to avoid Goda, trying to go silently and just like avoid him. So I wonder if they suspect him of being like one of the enemy parties, because at this point of the story, I think it's possible that we have like multiple culprits. Maybe we have like 2 enemy parties basically, which have like different targets, basically what they want to accomplish. and yeah, he would be potential culprit, and they want to hide fact that Kinzo have some info. We suspected it the other way, make Goda innocent. It doesn't make much sense, since being someone like Kinzo would be nothing special for him. He just summoned them for some reason. Yeah, exactly. Like, if we say that Goda is actually innocent, that they could just tell him, Goda, you know, we just going to Kinzo now because he summoned us, and yeah, deal with the kitchen, basically. But they didn't tell him this. Why? Because they're suspecting something out of him. That's why I think that they never like told him why they go. So we have five being killed. Doesn't matter where, Kinzo study or somewhere else. Yeah, that's like, it doesn't matter where they died basically. Deaths are confirmed with red, so we know they're dead actually. So these people on X's are actually dead. Only culprit seems to be Nanjo at this point. He's the only person that's been isolated during the incident. Nanjo is very suspicious in this episode actually, because in every single case I think in this episode he's isolated. He's being alone in his room or whatever. So this is very weird. Possibly he was the one who called servants from Kinzo to give some information. It's like maybe claim Goda being bad, so maybe he's like, come to the Kinzo room, Goda is onto something, I want to tell you. Something like that. They rushed to the room, Nanjo had guns in study room, so he could just shot them, basically. And the closed room is basically he could like plant the bodies in the meantime, because he had time. Like, there was a lot of time before like meeting and everything. So he would just like plant bodies and close the last room, and he was the first who was checking each body. And he could just plant the key at the last body or the first one, whatever. You know? He had one key on him and just claimed to found the body, exactly. This way he could close the room from outside and then at the same time create closed rooms. Makes total sense to me. Like, planted last key at the body. It makes total sense. Like, parlor, Shannon, guest room. He don't even like necessarily have to be like last body. It could be just at the Shannon. Like, first body they found would be Shannon, and that would be like basically the last he closed and he just like put here. So yeah, anyway, he planted the last key, like the last missing key on whatever body they found first. So yeah, that's like first Twilight. That's kinda easy, I guess. That's like the most efficient way to deal with this one. So let's go with the next one. Next one we have Eva that killed Maria and Rosa, and this is the territory of Maria being suspect. I mean, not Maria, Eva being the suspect. And this is the place where a lot of weird stuff is happening. And with some stuff, people on Discord didn't agree really, or they didn't like. So I don't know, maybe you will like, let me know. It's actually about the next one, not about this one. But about this one. First of all, because people pointing to me that there's rain outside, right? So if I would go and kill them, then she would be wet, right? But it's easily to be manipulated, because we know in fact that Hideyoshi and Eva room is on the first floor and have shower, and probably have towels as well. So even if they catch Eva being wet, she could just tell, hey, I was just like taking shower, you know? Pretty easy explanation. Also, being on the first floor is very important for this case, because also, yeah, Nanjo was again alone, so it's possible to work together, and it's easier to kill 2 targets if we have 2 culprits, so maybe these two were working together in this. Not necessary, but it's possible. And Eva, so what I think was, yeah, without reading this, I guess. What I think, it was like, Eva took the pills from Rosa, and that created the situation when Maria was able to get angry, and Rosa was unable to calm her down, and she left with Maria. And Hideyoshi saw this because they were on the first floor. He saw that Maria and Rosa basically left, and he gave that info to Eva, so she could just either go through the main door or through the window, because they're on the first floor. They're on the first floor, so it's like easy to go through the window, I guess. Like there's no problem. Hideyoshi can just like stay inside the room to make a cover-up story. Nanjo don't have solid alibi. He was claiming to being alone, resting. Like I said, suspicious. Eva, Hideyoshi, Nanjo, one of these took sleeping pills from Rosa for Maria, forcing them out. Hideyoshi saw Maria and Rosa leaving the mansion, informed Badir and Eva. That's what I said, like in a second, like before here. Eva sneaks out and kills Rosa plus Maria. Nanjo could help, but not necessary. Hideyoshi stays in the room to create cover alibi. That's what I said as well. Rosa on the first floor, easy to climb through the window. Yep. If not possible to just sneak through the door. Yeah, like if someone would be like in parlor or in the corridor, then it would be hard to sneak through the door. So they had basically 2 exits and 2 entrances. And there's shower and probably towers, so if she gets wet, she can claim she took shower. Eva Hideyoshi is perfect room for this case, so that's why Eva and Hideyoshi are very suspicious at this point. So we have 3 main suspects from this point on. Sorry. So, third one. This is the one that people are weird about. And yeah, I can see why, but again, Nanjo was alone. Suspicious. So, what happened? Because this is the fight in the mansion. Kira took Hideyoshi and to question him. Maybe she got like suspicious of him and Eva, because well, they were in the room alone. Eva was Badir and maybe Kiri was onto something. And Eva saw them going to the other building through the window of her room and like followed them. Then the fight started basically between 4 of them. Like between Eva, Hideyoshi, Rudolph and Kirie. Between these 4, the fight started over and only Eva survived basically. And we see later on, like when she's meeting with cousins, that she's been in distress one meeting and she's shocked about after Hideyoshi death, but she still plays as she don't know what happened. So I think that she meet with the cousins, like after the fight she come back to the guest room and she's like, you know, shaken because Hideyoshi died, her husband died. She don't want to kill her family, obviously. So she still have a plan, maybe actually for like George good. That's why she's covering up the death of Hideyoshi, being the case like she was there. And she just want to go and search for him and stuff. So yeah, but she's shaken by his death probably. And that's basically what I think. I think that Eva followed them. Fight started all, but Eva died. I think that's what happened. That's like the most like basic choice. Unless we go and make Nanjo following them and like fight. So we have like Hideyoshi, Kirie, Nanjo and Wait, Rudolph, Kirie, Hideyoshi, and Nanjo basically fighting. And maybe Eva saw that, like Nanjo following them, and that's why she was like in distress and wanted to check out what's happening. Maybe it also can like explain, I think, it can be the reason why they killed Nanjo later on, because he was like in fault of killing Hideyoshi. It's entirely possible as well. I just like thought about this like now, during recording actually. I didn't have like it's anywhere in the notes, I think. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't thought about this. But I think it's possible that he could go there and just kill them. Okay. Let's go for the fourth. So 4 and 6, which were... Oh, Kraus and Natsuhi were like 4th and 6th kills. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, that's a lot. Let's see what I have here, hers. Battle scene a place there. Eva followed George. George died by accident and back. Yeah, this is about George's death. I don't know, like, I have multiple, I think, yeah, I have it like here, how George could die. This is not the only solution that George could die. So the 3Ds just like some side notes that I had like during the thoughts, I guess. Yeah, this is the other case. Like, he could die by accident while she was like basically arguing with George, I guess. Maybe she was the reason why George died, and that's why she's like so broken later on. And it's possible that if Kiria is alive, that she could shoot George and works with her killing Nanjo later on as well. Because we know from the tip menu that her injury is not particularly lethal. And question marks are basically the people who might have survived at this point. But I know like these two have like head injuries, so I don't think these two survived. So I would say that question mark should be only on Kiria here. So Eva took sleeping pills. They got like to sleep. Basically, she dragged them and strangled in sleep. And Nanjo helped taking the bodies to the garden. And in the meantime, George just left through the window. Okay, let's see here. So first, George left through the window to see Shannon's body and died. What is here? Second note. Later he looks dead to Butler, not specified in red until end. So I think I discredit this later on during my thoughts, so I don't know why I have this here. Just some red on chest suggesting injury, could be fake blood on Nanjo and Eva, made contact with body, cover up, dragged to stake of fake death, just faking acting, I'm right unconscious. Yeah, basically Eva don't want to kill George, I think, so it's possible here that Eva and Nanjo are together in this because Nanjo is suspect, and they like maybe make him unconscious, like George got unconscious, dragged him to like fake death state, you know, like in the movies. And they can like just fake his injury, or he can fake his injury. Because who knows, maybe George is in this as well. George's death had few options. Actually, if he's like actually dead. So we have actual death or cover up fake injury. In this case, in case of his death, it's possible that Kiria could shoot him. Because if she would be alive and she was fighting with... If we go with the Hideyoshi and Eva fight before, then she would assume that their son is also in this. So she tried to eliminate him, I guess. It's also possible that... Sorry. It's also possible that Natsuki and Krauts are alive and they killed George. Or he died by accident in dispute with Eva. Could explain why she acts so broken later. So because she's been the reason why George died. That's what I like talking. That's what I was talking like a second ago about this. So yeah, these are like possibilities of George's death. And most likely second one, what is it? Eva saw George sneaking out of the window, get fight. Oh yeah, this is like explanation about the deaths. Get into fight over Shannon being servant, etc. Because she don't like Shannon, obviously, we know that. And kill George by accident, for example, push him into something sharp, he could trip. And yeah, that make sense in terms of like her being like broken and stuff later on. Kiria is alive based on her injury and Hideyoshi Kiria Tipmani. That would be not essentially fatal. She might have died later from the bleeding. It works with the red truth as well, like with the red web. Kiria shot George because she suspects him to work with his family and being possible culprit. She's literally adult. George is adult and can take care of the business, so can be easily involved in matters as well. Like, definitely, like, if Eva and Hideyoshi are suspects, then we can make George suspect as well, because he's basically adult at this point. He's like the eldest one from all the cousins, and he can work together with his family for like one goal, you know. And also we have that non-associated crowds can be alive, like maybe strangled or not suffocated enough and woke up. Eva, they know at this point that Eva is a culprit, so George and suspect him, kills him. It works for Nanja Death later on, so they could got injured during the fight with George later on, and that's why they died, like later, basically, like they sustained injuries, and yeah. And how they died, strangled, possible that one or two of them woke up, yeah, but most likely for this theory I will go with Kiria being injured and dying later on from the bleed out, basically. It's like, I think, the most possible case. And then we have the end, which is basically the red web. And after this I will go to Kuvadorian, because Kuvadorian is mentioned before. But yeah, I was talking about the cases and forget about this. And Kuvadorian is very weird. So, could be still alive at this point. Like Kiria and Natsuhi and Kraus, like I said, they could be alive before Nanja Death. Actually, I should say before Red Web. They could be alive, and Kiria could be alive. So one of these three could be culprit for killing Nanja as well. She's blinded. This is like very weird stuff with canon, because the red truth saying that no one can claim canon name, no one else can be canon. She didn't saw canon per se, because she was blinded. So that's why I tried to make George alive at this point. Like I said, like here, it's possible that he's like, even Hideyoshi faked his death, or he faked his death himself. And basically George is playing as canon. Like, he never said openly to Jessica, I'm canon, don't worry. She was just like asking, canon, is that you? Something like that. And he's just like, milady, I will help you, something like that, you know? I don't remember like correct like word per word, but it's not like he ever established truly that he's canon. So maybe George was playing as canon and like helped her going like escape. I don't know. Like this whole canon thing is very weird. Canon is like one of the person that dev is always clouded in mystery. There's something going on. His body disappearing in episode 2 where we have like basically throwing him to the well, I guess. Episode 3 is the weirdest one about canon body. I'm not sure what I can do with this. He never claims he's yeah, he only acted as canon. This is not contradicting Red. That other person can be canon. So, I don't know. This is weird. And how Nanjo died. How Nanjo died. There we go. This is the red web. Red web of truth. So, one little disclaimer. I'm very mad. I'm mad about Red Truth and about fandom a little bit of Umineko because of Red Web, I guess. I'm sorry guys, but you told me that Red Web solving Umineko. Red Web must make sense for every episode. And my solution here makes sense for episode 3. It doesn't explain other episodes. So back in my head, I know it's wrong. On the other hand, some of you told me that understanding Red Web makes you understand the other devs, like other episodes. So maybe this solution is somehow good? I don't know, but because of this information, I'm all over my head about this, like trying to figure this out in the way so it works on every single episode, and I'm like really in distress. So, let's go to this. First of all, one thing that's bothering me in the Red Web is that no other life forms than humans have any connection to this game. This is bothering me. This is bothering me this whole time. Basically what it says that this specific game board of episode 3, there was no life forms other than humans. So it's entirely possible for other games, episode 1, 2, possibly 4, to have some life forms that are other than humans. So let's say animals. Maybe there's like, I don't know, they have like trained dog or something who just like killed someone. That's why we have at the end of the Umineko like they were like chewed by demons, you know, like eaten by demons. Bodies were like destroyed, basically, like messed up. Maybe there are like dogs or something that's trained and they're just like killed by dogs or something. I don't know, but this is bothering me. And there's also no other factor than humans participating in this game board. Once again, this game board, and it's weird. And I think that could be dies after. So this all red, like Kyrie dead. Like I said, Kyrie could be alive at this point, right? And this is true, because we can assume that she's alive, like every single person here. Maybe not every single, like the ones that were not specified red. So Kraus, George, Natsuhi and Kyrie, these 4, were not specified being dead in red before the red web. So each of this person could be alive before red web. So this, she, and possibly George. I don't know why I have X on him, but let's say he's dead because that works as well. Does not explain every game works only for episode 3. Yep, I'm sad about this. So, possible options. Nacho got killed by heavily injured Kirie, and she dies after. So she basically managed to stand up, bleeding heavily, went up and just killed Nanjo basically, and then she just like collapsed after like blood loss, after she like went someone else. Maybe she was like looking for Jessica, maybe she was like trying to because Jessica escaped, right? So maybe she was like looking for Jessica to ensure she's safe or something. Or maybe she's actually with the culprit or something. Oh my god, I have like fucking big spider here, what the fuck? Oh! That's scary. How did he get here? Also, I'm still ill, if you can like hear from my voice. I'm recording this like for like, I don't know how long now, but I need a little break before I go to the episode 4. Or Nanjo got killed by Natsuhi Kraus, who woke up and faked death. Kiria shot the culprit and dies after. So, it's another possibility that Natsuhi and Kraus, like I said, they could be alive. They could wake up, go and kill Nanjo, and then they got killed by Kiria, who was alive. So, we can say that all 3 of these were alive, and all 3 were involved in Nanjo killing. This is not contradicting Red. If Red is spoken after Nanjo death, then the people are confirmed dead only during the speech. Like I said, not confirmed before. Based on injuries, could be still alive. Like, these were just strangled, they could just woke up. Maybe they faked that, maybe they were like together with Eva with this. Maybe they just get marked, like marks of being strangled, but they were still alive. So they were just faking this. And they just went to kill Nanjo. Or just like Kiria killed him. It's like not contradicting Red Truth as well. Another possibility, if we refuse to explain canon being with Jessica all the time, Nanjo got killed by George. So if we assume that George is not canon, and we say that the canon she saw is basically illusion, that like she thinks about canon because how she loved him. We know that illusions and imaginary friends and everything is a thing in Umineko. So it's entirely possible that she just like escaped by her own. And George, who's involved with his family, killed Nanjo, and Kiria shot George. And that will explain George's death before the web case. Because we have Nanjo, who knows stuff, or whatever. George killing Nanjo because he's together with his family. And Kiria, who's heavily wounded, sees that and confirming that George is like bad. And then he just like shot him at some point. Basically, he just had to like go away from Nanjo body. Then she shot him because Butler and Eva found Nanjo body and didn't found George body in the same place. So it must be like somewhere place. Maybe he was like flipped like on the like staircase like downwards or something. I don't know, but it's possible that he died somewhere else. And Kiria is the main catalyst for the web to work, because she was injured in a way that she could die even without being directly confronted with the culprit. That's why I think it works with her. And at the end, Eva shooting Butler, and she basically escapes like through the tunnels or just outside going to Kuvadorian because she was found then there, and everything else collapsed at 0-0 as in everything else. And about Kuvadorian, this is a mess. And I don't think I will be talking about all of this. So these are just like my notes before I started like everything. Like Kuvadora is 19 years ago. This is like establishing the ages basically, because I've added Beatrice to the family tree. Like I said it many times before, I suspect Beatrice being one of the Ushiromiyas. And this princess, the small Beato, is referencing to probably Kinzo's grandfather. And Kinzo's a title we know, so it could be different Kinzo. These are like my old notes. Analogy of being constructed, built as being born. Shot in the body. If the title is heritage, that means it's different body, like her previous self, like previous Beato. That means previous Beato name courted me. Beato might have lost memory, met with people. She's definitely dead, and this is red truth that's spoken in the tense that saying that Beato is talking about someone else, not about herself. This as like some weird chart I was like doing like my random thoughts. I don't know if this is correct. I don't remember even like Kuvadorian Kinzo is Rosa's father, because Kuvadorian Kinzo is the same Kinzo that we have before. Actually, I think like going just straight to this makes more sense. So basically we have Kinzo who had some mistress, and in this Kinzo is prologue Kinzo. So basically prologue Kuvadorian Kinzo is the same as the Kinzo we have in the game. And Kinzo and mistress had a kid who was Kuvadorian Beato. And Kuvadorian Beato was with someone X, with some person X. And then the small Beato was made, which is the current Beato. I think. Is this correct one? Let's see here. So we have prologue Kinzo, Kuvadorian Beatrice, mistress, prologue Beatrice. Oh yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it was the case of prologue being before Kuvadorian, actually. Yeah, I think it was the case. Epitaph 2 years ago, written to make Beato next Kinzo. That's like one of my theories about. I guess there's just a theory about short like thought about the epitaph, that epitaph was basically written to make Beato, who couldn't be otherwise, the next head, becoming a head. So that was like prologue Kuvadorian Kinzo. Kraus is 14 years old, she's like 40, around. We have 45 Rudolph, and now this. We have Rosa at 30 years old. This is just estimates. These are estimates. So Rosa, at the time when she met with Beatrice in Kuvadorian, was 12 years old, and Kuvadorian Beatrice was 16. And she died, but before, she actually had a kid with some Y. And this is our Beatrice. Like Beatrice, so basically our Beato, and it's not 20 plus. She's not 20 plus. Like here I have like little. I tried to put second butler basically somewhere on the family tree, but I wasn't really able to. I didn't finish that. But I was searching this later on, like before this video, but I couldn't find where I found this. But apparently somewhere in episode 2, something made me realize that batteries is actually 30 plus our batteries, so there should be like 30. So our batteries should be like 30 plus that we know, and she's in the line of one of the cousins. So batteries is the oldest cousin, basically. And this is the prologue battery, so the batteries that's like the princess here that calls grandfather, like Kinzo the grandfather, is our batteries. It's connected because cousins calling Kinzo grandfather. So in order to small batteries call Kinzo grandfather, she must be the cousin. If she would be here, she would call Kinzo father, and that's not the case. And it's possible that Kuvadorian batteries at 16 is actually lost her memories. That's why she's like just talking about Kinzo as Kinzo. Yeah. So it's not like identifying like who Beato is. I guess it is kinda, but it's establishing a little bit of like family tree basically, and where I think that Beato probably belongs. And that's also like about like the last. This is also connecting to the last riddle actually about episode 4. But I will talk about this later. Because, you know, love is not necessarily a romantic thing. It can be love for another sibling. It can be love for your parents. It's like a lot of stuff. But yeah, that's like what I think like what happened on Kvadorian. And basically our like Beato, that our Beato is actually one of the siblings. And the Beato from Kvadorian is the is mother of our Beato. Let's see what I've here. If this is like supporting stuff, or this is like very old. Prologue Beatrice, princess, is the cousin. Yeah, this is exactly what I said. So we have grandfather Kinzo, wife X, they had kid. We had prologue Beatrice. Oh yeah, Beatrice is not necessarily kid for Kinzo. Maybe they had some kid and Beatrice was brought to the family. Yeah, because if she cannot be next head, then she would be from outside of the family. So she was like, basically in similar situation like Hideyoshi and Natsuhi, I guess, that she was like from outside of the family. So we had like a male kid, I guess. It's also a possibility. And then, yeah. Stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to like make another theory while talking about stuff that I already established. I shouldn't do that, because I will spend another 2 hours like trying to do new stuff. Kid Kinzo, Kuvadorian Beato died, had no memory. Present Beatrice called Virgila her teacher. Yeah. This is also like present Beatrice calls Virgila her teacher is also connected to this, like to the beginning, the prologue, because the princess Beatrice, the small Beatrice, was calling Virgila a teacher, and it's connected. So all of these suggesting that she's actually a cousin. Kinzo in Kuvadorian is Kinzo, we know from the tip mini, because he is Rosa's father, yes. Kuvadorian Beatrice and Kinzo we know. Teacher or mother, Beato now. Wait, did I suggest it here that Kuvadori and Beatrice had a kid with Kinzo? Wait, is that possible that's happened? Is that fucked up? I think it's fucked up. But hey, who knows? Maybe he was like actually creep. Wait, what? What if he was actually a creep? What if the Y is actually Kinzo? Is it possible that he had a mistress and the Kuvadorian Beatrice was born and he couldn't get over the mistress death and he went for Beatrice, for his daughter. Oh my god, what the fuck? And then and maybe that's so tragic for Kuvadorian Beato that she lost a memory. And she gave birth to our Beato before she died. This is creepy. And I will leave it at that. But that would mean that this Beato and this Beato would be both actually daughters of Kinzo. And she's calling him grandfather just because she don't know about this. Huh. Okay, time for episode 4. Let's go. Hi, just a quick note before we go to episode 4 because I forgot about to talk about this. So it's just a quick stuff about Sakutaro, because you would probably ask me about this in comments later on. How Enja was able to revive Sakutaro basically. Actually, I didn't touch Enja stuff in the video. And I didn't like touch that really much on streams, I guess. But I will have to at some point. I mean, I touched the like backgrounds. I mean like backstory for Enja and stuff, but it was mostly on Discord as like random furies and stuff and like pieces to piece stuff together. So it's not in the video, but I know some stuff. So basically, how Enja was able to revive Sakutaro for Maria was because of this place. This is the warehouse before she went to Rokkenjima. As you can see here, on the side, you can see part of Sakutaro. And we had in red, when we had this situation with Beatrice in red, when Enja was about to revive Sakutaro, that she couldn't tell that he's like the only one. So basically what happened is that Rosa either created more Sakutaros, like because her company is making dresses and stuff, right? So maybe she started selling Sakutaro toys. Maybe she created Sakutaros, or on the other hand she bought him. Like she maybe this is just, maybe this guy is selling Sakutaros from somewhere else and she lied to Maria saying that she made this and she just bought this. It can be like other way. Anyway, like there's a bunch of Sakutaros. That's how it happened. So yeah, just a quick note and let's go to the actual episode. So yeah. Okay, let's go to the episode 4, last one. It should be fast, I guess. Like episode 4 is like, I think episode 4 is the fastest one, but kind of complicated. Actually, episode 1 is faster. Anyway, let's go. So let's check what were the in-game events, what we saw. First we had the first Twilight, then we had thing with the shed that Kumasawa and Goda were in the, like, basically locked in the shed. We had test 1, phone 1 when just dying, then we had the escape, phone 2 with Kiryu dying, then we had meeting with Beato and talk about Beato, like double butlers basically. Then we have the Maria set being passed and Kinzo burn. And we had the tea parties when the bodies were confirmed, and that's all for the episode 4. So let's go. So first of all, first thing first, no red deaths. So every death can be questionable in this episode basically. Also the culprit seems to be like not interested like at all in the murders in order. Like death seems to be not in order of epitaph, so culprit like seems like doesn't care, like he's bored or whatever. So this is weird. And yeah, the state of people in the first night is like this. Also, I will explain the state of people why I think it's this way, not the other way, at the end, because there's something important. But you'll see. It's about canon, actually. So we have Natsuhi being dead, Hideyoshi, Eva, Rudolph, and Rosa. These people are like 100% dead at this point, and of course Kinzo. The people who are not dead for now, who are just assumed to be dead, are Genji. Is Genji, actually. With culprit are Shannon and Canon. These two are like suspicious as hell. And prisoners who don't know the truth outside of Nanjo, so he probably, yeah, he's sus anyway. Like, as always, because he knows about Kinzo, and he also knows about Kuvadorian. He recognizes this place and give wrong time estimates, which is very weird and suspicious as well. Because it's been 10 minutes since the fall, but Nanjo said that Kuvadorian is 30 minutes of walk to the mansion. So it doesn't match. It's weird. Maybe they're not at Kuvadorian. So yeah, Gold and Kumasawa are with culprit and playing innocence. That's what we established on like last stream. That was only for Discord users basically, but it's on the playlist that's unlisted, and it's on like stream archives on Discord, so you can join up and check the archives if you want to. So we established that there are like with culprit actually, and it was like spared intentionally to deliver the message to the kids. So what happened? So in episode 4, I actually think that this episode 4 is one of these weird episodes I was like talking before. In I think episode 2, where I want to discredit some stuff. And I don't think that Kinzo exists at all in episode 4. I think when we see Kinzo, it's for the viewer. I think like people claiming that saw Kinzo are basically threatened by someone else to say that. And I will tell you about this like in a second. Because this theory is going about Kinzo not existing. It works without him. It basically works. Not contradicting anything. Anyway, there's like nothing to contradict because we have no red truths outside of the end. So yeah. Even in like episode 4 Tea Party, like last Tea Party, Lambda Delta and stuff. So claims are fake about being dead. Kraus on the phone calls Kinzo the head and not father or Kinzo. Weird phrasing for him. So that's one of the things why I think why they don't see Kinzo actually, because he's calling him differently. He's not reflecting to him as the properly as he should, as we know from his character. So they were drugged with sleeping pills. Rosa had some, we know that. So someone who did that basically took Rosa pills and put everyone to sleep. Victims got killed by Genji with possible help of Shannon and Canon. It's possible that God and Kumasawa were also killing, so they were left alive. So, suspects are led by culprits on purpose. Most likely suspects work with the rest of the theory, like I said. So, these are suspects, basically, and Genji. Yeah, so basically the servants are like the main issue right now. So, first of all, we had a phone call. We had that people should go to the shed. So we have prisoners and people with culprit, Shannon and Canon. Danger phone being connected this whole time, I think. Planted by Kinzo or someone who helps him. We know that Kinzo don't exist. So I will call Kinzo like culprit. I will call culprit Kinzo, I guess. Like, this is like kind of, I don't know, it's like going natural to me because Kinzo, you know, was sown by Reader basically. So I would say it was planted by Kinzo, but you know what I mean. It was planted there and Shannon found it, so since they are with culprit, she knew there's planted phone. Also, Shannon and Canon remember previous games, so I don't know what's going on with this, really. This is very weird, and one of the biggest mysteries, why only they remember the previous games. There was a dialogue when it's basically established they know the previous games. It's so weird. And Shannon saw the Golden Land, so she knows the culprit, or is the culprit. And Nanja provided information about Dungeon being Kovadorian. So, what happened? Prisoners were threatened possibly with a gun and lives of the kids to tell them about Kinzo tests. So, you know, just go to the dungeon, head them on the gunpoint and tell that you have to say your kids that Kinzo is alive, that Kinzo killed everyone, and we will have 100 tests, or we'll kill you and your kid, or I will torture your kid, basically, and stuff, you know? Like, it should be like pretty easy to threaten them at this point. Phone been planted since the beginning and was connected to the kids' room on purpose, for this purpose actually. It's possible that Genji is being alive, and he's the one who threatens them. So basically, that's why I want like Genji being alive at this point. Because he can like play a role of Kinzo, you know? So I would revive Kinzo, like Genji at this point, to make him as a person who threatens others, and also Genji works. Like Genji being alive works with the rest of Fury as well. So I will revive him. So we have like these people basically alive. Goda and Kumasawa are locked, and there's possibility of second key to exist, and they are not aware of this. And this is territory of ifs, because it can go two ways. Genji could make duplicate, there's no red truth disgracing this idea, so yeah. Goda Kumasawa were in plan all along and they didn't know about this. So if we go with the theory that they with culprit, they were not fully in the plan. Like, them being disposal was all time the case, and Genji had the second key to the shed. It's nowhere said in the episode 4 that there exists only one key to shed, so he could just prepare a second key for himself, hid them from them, they didn't know about this. That's why it's possible to create the closed room in the shed later on as well. And they agree of being like, you know, closed in the shed and everything, because they're not aware of the second key. And also, yeah, like later on, up until the end, they will not know about the second key, actually. I will talk about this in a second. So first we had the first test and the phone. So at this point, we have something that I want to discredit again. Probably we can discredit this, because this is weird. First of all, shed. We cannot confirm if they were there for all time. Could be freed at some point. Like, nobody checked the shed literally ever. Up until like Butler when he was like going to the test. We don't know if they were inside or outside, if they were dead already or not. Like, we can do whatever we want with them, basically. Now, these guys see stuff in Magic Mirror, and I will say that these were just cameras that were placed beforehand to show them the situation. Like, shown, and what I think, it's that they didn't saw actually George fighting. That's why I say, like, I want to discredit a lot of stuff in episode 4 that was shown only to the reader. Because maybe they didn't saw George fight, they only saw the fight with Jessica, or like the beginning of this fight. And that's what made Kraus mad, and wanted to escape and everything, you know? And they haven't seen stuff at all, and the mirror camera stuff is bullshit, so they never saw anything, and they just had tried to escape. That's it. It's entirely possible that the mirror stuff is like not happening at all. So about this, what I think will happen is that wait, is this a... Wait, is this the correct... I think it's the correct file I have. Yeah, I think it's the correct file, but I swear I had like some chart here. Oh well. Oh yeah, I had the chart, but it's here. Pfft. Okay, never mind. This is canon stuff, basically. So, what I think happened in test is that George, like, actually it should be like the other way around. First, George was killed by Genji. It's possible that fight with Gap didn't happen. They didn't saw it, or they saw only Jessica fight, so they are not aware of George being killed by Genji. Because Genji is alive and he's just doing his stuff around. So he killed Genji. Genji killed George before going to Jessica place. It's also possible that George's death could be not planned. So maybe he was supposed to be knocked out but died during self-defense. Shannon would not agree to kill him. That explains Sad Beato at the Butler test as well. So it's possible that because Shannon loves George, she don't want him to die. And they need him to like being eliminated, I would say, quote quote. So Genji tried to knock out George, but George was trying to self-defense and got killed by accident. And that's why later on when Beato is talking to Butler, and I assume that Beato is Shannon, is sad. I have the sad expression and like she's emotional, so that works. Also, this is something that is not shown in the mirror, yeah. And Kyrie don't mention to Butler, so maybe didn't saw it. Yep, like later on when we had the phone from Kyrie, she didn't mention that. The George death. It was only mentioned by Jessica. It's mentioned by Jessica because she was told to say that. Because she was also threatened by the gun, or whatever they had. And the test was given by someone they knew, like Genji. Because she mistook Kronova for Genji, by the viewer perspective. So, basically, Genji killed George, went to Jessica, threatened her with gun, say that George is dead or he's in grave danger, and if you don't say what I say, then George will die, or your family will die, like your father. You know, it's still entirely possible to threaten Jessica, to call Butler or tell whatever like they want to him, and then kill Jessica afterwards. So I think that's what happened. Then we have the escape. We have the escape part. And it's entirely possible that they're possible out of the shed. This is what happened in a second. So someone let Goda and Kumasawa out, most likely Genji. Yes. And it could happen before he went to the test grounds. So before Genji went to kill George, he could let them out, basically. So it's also entirely possible that like Goda and Kumasawa killed George in the meantime. He had second key or was given by the shed prisoners. So if they're on the culprit side, it's most likely he went there and asked them to give him the key, so he can like open the door, so they don't suspect existence of the second key, you know? So because if they're with culprit, they know what they have to do. They are going to try to help and stop the escapist from the prison. And if they would be aware that Genji have the second key, they wouldn't feel so secure anymore, you know? So basically they are tricked. Basically they are tricked by Genji. Most likely they gave key. Second one for the reason entered tunnel through the well. So we assume that Goda is Goat and Kumasawa is Virgila. And how I think it works is that Goda is fighting with his like basically muscles, and basically he's trying to stop Kraus. And Kumasawa is the old lady. I think she can work as a shield, you know? I mean, no, it sounds terrible and terrifying, but you can see the old lady that's trying to stop you. You're escaping, yes, but you see this old lady, she's like grabbing Kyrie and trying to at least slow her down. I don't think that Kyrie would try and like murder her or hurt her, so she would like try to like push her away or something, you know, not like necessarily beat her up. And we know that in the tunnel, Virgila literally did nothing, so it works, basically. Like I said, there's no red truths. We can do whatever we want with them. Nanjo Shannon could kill Kyrie and call Butler as Beatrice. Yeah. I will talk about this a bit like in a second. Tunnel Rose, Goda, fight with muscles, Kumasawa, old lady shield, slow down Kyrie from being afraid to hurt old lady. Yeah. So this is the like parties that were at this point. So she claimed magic exists same as Jessica, so she was basically to tell Butler the same thing as others. So she called him at the gunpoint. I'm not sure what kind of threat, how could they threat her at this point outside of gunpoint, because she don't really like Butler, we know, because she thinks about Asumo when she looks at him, but yeah. And this is also not confirmed, the like status of them, of Goda and Kumasawa, because no one checked this, like ever. So what happened? Shannon, Kano and Nanjo got overpowered / outsmarted by Kraus and Kyrie and managed to get away from cell. That's what I think happened. Like, these three were the prisoners, and he's suspect, right? So I would say that these three work together. Like, they know basically what's happening at this point. And they overpowered Nanjo, because he's the old guy. And they escaped. And these are kids. These are just kids, basically. So Shannon Kanon Nanjo calls Genji, there's a phone, so maybe there's another line that is connected somewhere else to contact him. So basically they escape and they call Genji. Genji let Kumasawa and Goda out, so they're either with the culprit, like I say, like I think they're with culprit for the sake of the consistency of this fury. But it's also possible that, yeah, like, you know, they're not with culprit and they're just like threatened and manipulated, because they are people that are like easily to be threatened, I think. Like Kumasawa is always scared, Goda is like also pretty easy to be manipulated, I think, so it's also possible that they're like not with culprit but easily threatened to do stuff. To go to tunnel to stop Kraus and Kyrie. Goda and Kumasawa are knocked down and still alive at this point, by the way. And they catch up to and kill Kraus. Like Kanon, Shannon and Nanjo. They catch up, kills Kraus. Kanon dies during the fight outside the well, probably pushed down and die from fall. So he's like 100% dead at this point. And this is established by Kanon stuff and the kills order that I'll talk like a little bit at the end. Kyrie being forced to call Butler. What kind of threat? I don't know. Gunpoint and what else? That's what I said, like I don't know what else outside of gunpoint, maybe Butler life. Kyrie then got shot or something and died. A note about Shed. Suspects could kill Kumasawa and Goza at this point and plant bodies back into Shed, so for example there could be when I have this note about Shannon Nanjo kill. I think it's possible that Shannon was the only one who was having Kyrie on the gunpoint basically here, and Nanjo went back to the tunnel and killed Kumasawa and Goda. Or Genji could do that. It's possible that after killing Kyrie, Nanjo and Genji went to deal with Goda and Kumasawa. Shannon was talking as Beato via phone. Yeah, because Shannon must be in the room with Kyrie. She couldn't go and deal with the bodies because she had to call Butler. Nanjo and Genji went to plant bodies back to Shed and to chapel to wait for Maria. Beato Shannon tell her to go there. And they kill Maria and they have plan to plant body to the conference room, or they planted it. And this is something I will talk in a second. And it's about the last riddle as well. Now we have Beato meeting. So Butler goes to meet with Beato and he sees her like high up and in the rain. So it's and it's dark, so it's hard to tell who it is. So it's entirely possible it's Shannon. Butler is alone confirming bodies. They have somewhere between midnight and the beginning. Maria took poison herself. Dialogue with Kinzo did not happen, we assume. This is about Kinzo burning, basically, and talking about Maria past the test. I think that we can assume that it never happened, like Kinzo don't exist. Like Kinzo title don't exist here. Kinzo might be the story that is made up for the viewer. No red truths again, yep. So, what happened for Beato meeting? Like, Maria body doesn't matter, really, at this point. So, Butler went for his test and confirmed George's body. So, he sees George's body at this point, that they're dead. Didn't saw Beato clearly, possibly Shannon needs gas. She's sad and drunk because she knows about George's death at this point. That explains her, like, expression. They talk about scene and stuff, and Beato leaves. And I didn't have this in the notes actually. In the episode 3, I just realized. But we had the dialogue in episode 3, or maybe it's episode 4? About like 6 years ago, I think it's in the episode 4, in the beach scene, we have episode 3, or 4, the 6 years ago stuff, and that we know that Butler, like Shannon was Butler's first love, basically, when he was kid. He said that he will come back to Shannon, so it's possible that his sin is that he forgot about his promise to Shannon. Maybe this whole situation is about love and revenge. This is one of the motives I can think about. Maybe Shannon is just a psychopath, I don't know. And Butler take master keys from the chapel and investigate. Transition to Meta Butler is at 24. So, like, we have Butler investigating, and then we have Butler searching for Beatrice, and we have this transition for the tea party when the Butler is fighting Beatrice with the theories and stuff. And this transition happens on 24th. So it's possible that Cliff got destroyed at that time and Butler dies. Because, you know, there's explosion in the tunnels and the cliff collapse. That's why Peace Butler is dead. And then we have the Meta Butler coming up. And this is like what could happen to Maria, but doesn't really matter now. Like, Maria chooses her life, so she didn't want others to die. She had no one she loves. Or test never happened and she got just killed in the chapel, like I mentioned before. Taken to the mansion and made to look peacefully, or she took a poison by herself. And yeah, like, it doesn't really matter, I think. Like, she just dead, she was prepared, or she prepared herself to look like this. And we have the last riddle. And this is actually about, I should include some of this into this Beato meeting, but yeah. About like what happened at the end. Because we still have like 3 people to kill, right? Because we know that at the end Butler is alone. So we need Nanjo, Genji and Shannon die before that happens. And how did that happen? That's why it's in the last riddle actually. So when Beato and Butler was talking, Genji planted Maria's body in the conference room. Right? Because they killed her, and then they went to like plant her body inside the conference room. They could go from the back door, that's no problem. And what happened is that Nanjo actually betrayed them and kills Genji in the conference room. That's why we'll find Genji's body in the conference room at the end. And after that, after Butler left to chapel, Shannon and Nanjo went to well, for example, to check if Canon might still be alive, because they didn't have time to check it, so Nanjo is still playing like innocent, and go together with Shannon to check for Canon body, and then Shannon got attacked. Shannon got attacked by Nanjo and they both died during fight. One of them would be fatally wounded and died after, so basically they started fighting. One killed another, other one got fatally injured and just died for the blood loss or whatever. And that's why we have like all 3 dead. We have all 3 dead bodies. And this way Butler is left alone for the last. So, last riddle. We have now this. How to make sense out of this? Basically, Beato is Butler imagination, magic companion. We know that's a thing. Maybe his subconsciousness is creating her. Butler dies alone on Rogenjima actually, like it's established in the Red Truth. It got beat by heart attack, accident, suicide, or clip being destroyed at 24th. Also, this is most likely to what happened. Red says, I will. Culprit planted tunnel. So, if Culprit is already dead, and Butler sees image of her, it still counts as being here, you know? Like he sees her, and she's saying, I'm here with you. And I will kill you. As his imaginations. And killing him literally after death. It doesn't contradict any of this. So, he's alone. He's in subconscious creating Beato as a culprit. In his mind. Beato, which could be Shannon. Planted the tunnel with explosives to make everything explode at 24. And you see what I say? I got like brain lag. Sorry. Yeah, basically, imagination of Beatrice is telling that she will kill him, and she prepared basically this before. So it's technically her killing him. You know what I see? You see what I say? And it works! It works! And also, who am I? The last riddle. I think it could be a bit poetic, I would say. That was the last thing I mentioned on Discord recently, actually. Like one of my random thoughts before going to bed, as usual. Because my brain usually starts working on Umineko when I'm like about to sleep. That's weird. And it's kind of poetic. Who am I? I'm your last love. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Beato is someone who Butler loved before and forgot about her, and he have her image in his subconsciousness. Maybe it's Shannon. Maybe it's actually about Shannon. Maybe Beato is actually Shannon, like literally. Maybe it's Shannon from 6 years ago. How he imagined her. And he forgot about this. Maybe that's it. And also, about canon stuff and the death's order. So, canon? This is the canon stuff. And stuff that I was like talking about. Like this chart, for example, is like who went where. This is the chart I was talking about, like where I had the chart. Like Genji killing basically George, Jessica, then going like to the shed, Butler seeing Shannon. I had multiple options for this. And what I mean by canon situation, I mean that Canon dies as the 9th victim and first in the Curie group. So basically we need 8 people to die before the escape. And we know that he actually died during the escape in the Curie group. So, taking everything into account, taking multiple solutions, thinking about them, doing some research and talking with you guys on streams and on Discord, the thing that works is this theory I said you today, and this is the death order. I mean, it's not like I guess this is in the death order. So, first to 6 order doesn't matter, they're just dead. So, Kinzo, Natsuki, Hideyoshi, Eva, Rudolph, and Rosa. It's the first Twilight. So, these die in the first Twilight. Then we have George, and then Jessica on tests. Then we have 9th, Soul Cannon, Kraus, who escaped during the outside well. God and Kumasawa died later or during the same time as Kyrie because Nanjo and Genji could go to the tunnel before or after. So it could be like other way around, but still. She died in the room. Maria died in the chapel or in conference room by herself. Genji died in the conference room by Nanjo. Sean and Nanjo died as well, killing each other. And Butler died basically by Cliff being destroyed, or he did the self-harm. And this is it. We did it. This is like some thoughts, multiple theories that I had about question arcs. There's more stuff, I think, that I forgot because, like I said, it's been like probably around 50 hours of streams and another like, I don't know, 20 maybe hours of like talking on Discord on multiple days and occasions. And I didn't put notes on every single theory and every single thought I had, especially on Discord. Discord is moving so fast that when I have a thought on like 4 AM in bed, I like sometimes don't think to put the note out of this. So if you want some extra stuff, then yeah, you're free. Like, you can join to the Discord. It's like in the description, like literally just click it, join Discord and go to the Umineko channel. And we can have a talk there, like a lot. Anyway, leave your comments down below what you think about this theory, if you like it, if you don't like it. I think like they work. I'm satisfied with them. I had a lot of fun trying to discover stuff, you know? I didn't have fun after I made the streams and trying to make notes to like in some compiled form, you know? But yeah, I had a lot of fun and I will keep doing the theories for answers as well. I will probably, yeah, I will keep these notes, like these theories, and will adjust them while after like every episode of Answer Arcs, I think. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for your discussion in the comment section and on Discord. So yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for joining. I hope I entertained you. I hope you liked this. And yeah, that will be it. So thank you for being with me. Thank you for watching this episode, for listening to me. And let's discover Umineko in some later episodes. Maybe in some more detail. So thanks once again. And for now, Pocket Watch is going out.